Hi guys, Figure-Boi here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be discussing Buffy the Vampire Slayer Series 1 and 2, I've decided. Some people from uni, some fellow students, recommended Buffy to me and others, and I said to them that I would watch it, but at the time I was trying to finish this other show. Can't remember exactly what it was. It was probably something on Disney Plus, Star Wars related. Could it have been Rebels? I think I know what it was. I think I was trying to finish Rebels at the time, or season 2 of Rebels. But I've finished that. Still got to watch the other half of Rebels though, but not anytime soon. So yeah, I'm a Buffy fan now, though I don't know if I really have any. Like, I'm not like, I can't say I'm a mega fan, because I haven't actually seen them all, hence why I'm only doing the first two series. But I thought the idea for this is almost like for me to give my opinion and analysis so far. I was dubbing this as an essay, but it's more, this kind of goes under my kind of reflection kind of thing, so there's no point, evidence, explanation or anything like that, and hopefully the people watching won't mark me down for any grammatical stuff or anything like that, because I know I'm not very good at grammar. But yeah, let's see if I can go this video without saying the wrong word, because sometimes I watch my videos back and I realise that's probably not, I haven't probably said that right, or because of the way I speak, I might not sound, I might sound as though I'm saying something else. Anyway, let's get to the point now. So that's my long introduction. Right, so if you don't know, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was created by Joss Whedon, to give a bit of context. And obviously he's been in the news recently because a lot of his fellow what would you call them? Well, a lot of the actors from Buffy, including Charisma Carpenter, and some other actors from his work on Justice League, or Justice League as a lot of people are calling it, which I've only actually seen recently because I wanted to watch Justice League, the original Justice League, before I watched this new one, so I can actually see the difference. And I actually still like the film, but I assure you I'm not one of those. To be plainly honest, like, as long as, you know, Wonder Woman was in it, I wouldn't be complaining. But there were some things in it that I wasn't particularly, I mean, obviously the effects and all that. But anyway, let's just get back onto Buffy. So I wanted to say that I'm guessing you could say he is a ginger with no soul. That's all I really wanted to say about Joss Whedon there. Right, so it's set in Sunnydale, which is basically just like your stereotypical kind of like a American kind of setting, like I don't really know what to call it, like town, city. I don't know, is it town? I don't know. Anyway, it's called Sunnydale, woohoo. And Sunnydale is basically located on the Hellmouth, which is almost like I'm guessing it's like a gateway to Hell, hence why there's these monsters coming here, there, and everywhere. So let's look at the main cast. So you might recognise this actor here. This is Anthony Head. I decided I wanted to focus on him first, because if you know me, I'm a big Merlin fan, so whenever I see him, I instantly think of Uther. But what impressed me about him in this show, before I talk about the other amazing cast members here, is that Anthony Head is probably the best actor in this show, which you can probably tell by my tone of voice, like I'm his number one fan, right? And so it's funny to see him play an actual good guy in this, in comparison to Uther Pendragon, because here he's like a sensitive soul. Here I know he's got his like past and everything, but I'll go on about that in a bit. And but yeah, like he's like just a genuine guy. So, and it's funny because he's like the father figure of the group. Yeah, so let's go. I'll start from Buffy and I'll go backwards again. Right, so Buffy is like the main character, the titular character, yeah. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because she's like the number one, yeah. Couldn't agree more in some areas, right? And, yeah, so she's the Slayer, it's a given, like, oh my god, I didn't know she was the Slayer. Right, and so basically what she is, right, don't sound harsh then, what she is, right, she is, so once, I'm trying to think of the opening title, because before it was done like, she is the Slayer, or something, that was the Army of Darkness, she is the Slayer, right, anyway that, so I'm guessing like it's every now and again, because I don't want to get my facts wrong, a girl is born with like these special abilities, which gives her like, I don't know, she's like how do you describe it? I'm trying to think of a way. Basically, the ultimate, she has like forgive me if I'm wrong, so I'm guessing she has like these, let's just say these special skills that give her the upper hand over vampires, I guess. Like, I mean, I know like other characters can slay vampires, but she's almost got like the more ultimate skills, the more, maybe some of it comes naturally, I guess, I don't know, innate abilities. In terms of a character, in a discussion, I once said that I called her fighting skills impressive, but I should have probably worded this a bit better. I didn't think she was a quote and unquote hard woman, as in like a hard man, strong, as in, well, she's strong, but it was more so with her one-liners, where some of it just doesn't work. Some of it does, and some of it doesn't. I still like her, but sometimes it's so bad, it is kind of funny at the same time. But at the end of the day, this is a teen drama, so you can't expect the most high-quality acting, even though this man over here, I'm doing this on PowerPoint, so the mouse obviously might not be seen, but I'm got my pointer over Anthony Head's Anthony Head. Don't know what I'll just call him over. Anthony Head's face here, right? Right, and let's start. We'll go here now. We'll talk about Xander, my favourite character and the one I relate to the most, because I kind of describe him as almost like forgive me. I once used the phrase B-Tech Chandler Bing, which might not make some of you happy, but I might say bootleg or bargain bin or cheap Chandler Bing. But then I changed my mind because I just realised I think Xander. No, he came after, didn't he? Sorry, but either way, whoever came first, Chandler or Xander, I prefer Xander as a character. He's stronger, he's cooler. And there's a lot of things I want to say about him, actually. So, I want to say a lot of things about everything, right? So, basically, he's like the friend of Willow, the ginger woman over here. She's basically like the nerd, right? And she has a crush on Xander. Like, they've known each other basically like all their life. But he's like not really interested in her, I guess, and she's more like a sister to him, right? And so obviously he's a massive simp for Buffy over here, and man, there's so much stuff I want to talk about, right? And yeah, that's the whole point of this Figure-Boi, right? Because it's here for you to talk about stuff, right? Right. So yeah, so a lot of so he often tries to impress Buffy a lot, and it doesn't always work, because she fancies Angel over here in the top corner, standing next to Anthony Head, or Rupert Giles, because I've been calling him Anthony Head, right? He's like a vampire, which basically he got his soul back, right? In this kind of, I'm guessing he was cursed with his soul again, right? And so he acts all good and nice, and he's basically like, I'm guessing he's almost like a double crosser in a way when it comes to, he's almost betraying his own kind, and he's almost like the intel, really. Because as Angel, he's actually a really decent chap. I mean, maybe too overly nice. I don't know if that has anything to do with the fact that he's a vampire, and obviously the soul, and something to do. It almost makes him like nicer than the average individual. So he's almost like he's too good to be true, right? So every girl's dream, I guess. So yes, I can't possibly. A guy like Xander couldn't possibly compete with a flawless guy in Angel over here, right? Then we'll talk about Cordelia. So she's like the standing next to Buffy. Sorry, I've got to check my hands because I can't tell left from right. The left, right, on the left here with the in the red, probably remain off in sense, right? Just rather than me trying, right. Anyway, she is basically like the popular girl, and at the start she's like really mean and cruel and whatnot, but in the end she ends up so far, like I can't say the end. Well, obviously she becomes a good character throughout series near the end of series 1, and she's an assistant. You're basically a member of the gang at that point. By the end of season 2, and or during season 2, she's like becomes a member of the gang like pretty early season 2, whatever. Like anyway, so she I don't want to spoil it, but anyway, she's actually not too bad. I never really thought she was too bad. I mean, she's just intimidating sometimes. Anyway, and last one we have. Sorry, my voice broke then. We have Oz, or Chris Griffin over here, creator of Robot Chicken, Seth Green, who ends up going out with Willow over here. I think he was a brilliant match for her, because they're both very geeky. So yeah, that's really so because they kept teasing it throughout season 2, and they finally got together. So that was all good. Anyway, let's get to the next slide. I think I've given you a gist of the characters. Oh yes, Rupert Giles is basically like the advisor, like to Buffy, and that, not the father figure. Like I've already said that. Well, anyway, let's get to the next slide. Right, so Buffy Summers, right? So what have I got to say about Buffy again? Right, yeah, she's not too bad. In terms of a character, let's talk about her actual character development. So at the beginning, she's almost. What confused me when I first started watching this show is that I thought this was going to be the story of how she discovers she is the vampire slayer, but when she's first introduced, it's like she already is the slayer and has been for quite some time. And sometimes I found her to be quite arrogant or overconfident. But then obviously, as it goes on, it turns out maybe she's not as strong as she seems, so she's constantly having to train in the graveyard every. No, the amount of scenes there are throughout this show of just her training in the graveyard with Giles or somebody else, and all the vampires just disappear into actual smoke or whatever. It's almost gets a bit repetitive after a bit, but then it sometimes it almost leads. They kind of use these scenes for additional discussion about something that's going on, or I don't know. Hey, one of my favourite openings was, does this have to do with Xander? In this, or should I go on about that in the next bit? Let me think. Yeah, I'll go on about that in the next bit. So anyway, she's not too bad, but sometimes I think she can be a bit naive, but I feel as though I can go on about that as I move along, right? So here are the two main Gs, other than Buffy. We have Xander, the guard, and Willow. And so basically I'm supposing you say, there you go, grammar, right? I suppose Xander serves the role as he is stated to be almost like the comic relief at the at the beginning. He's just the guy that makes the jokes all the time and occasional assistance stuff. He's almost the guy that just wants to get the girls, and then you've got Paul Willow, who actually shows actual interest in him, but he's almost like oblivious or whatnot. But Willow, like, incredibly smart, and she's someone you can definitely rely on for stuff. I actually felt really sorry for her in some areas, but I'm really glad that they give her more things to do as in terms of she's like, oh yeah, I forgot, she's like she can hack into anything. She's like the tech nerd and whatnot. But then they decide to give her more skills, which I'll go on about that in a bit, because I'm trying to be careful, because I'm trying to keep this relevant to series 1 and 2. But near the end, she does begin looking into witchcraft. So I suppose that's what I wanted to say, right? Oh, I got a lot of things to say about Giles over here, my man there. Right, so so their base of operations, the Scooby Gang, which I definitely approve of the name there, right? They basically so the library is almost where they do all their research. Like Giles, let's actually talk about like what Giles' actual role is. So I call him the father figure. Like I probably said that about 3 times now, right? Because there's so many points I want to make. But I've got to wait till the next couple slides or whatever to explain it right. So he's got all this knowledge stored up in his library. Like he's almost had this book at the beginning which just had vampire on it, like spout in this really weird way, right? So and he's like always telling Buffy off for not training or whatnot, or just being not showing up or whatever stuff. I don't know. So you can actually come across as really strict sometimes, but no, it's just I like the fact that they made him stay British, because if they'd Americanized him, I think it would have completely butchered his character. So but I don't think because the problem with Americans sometimes, they can be able. I can be just as bad sometimes, right? In my own writing. But in terms of so you've got the whole, because he's British, likes tea and whatnot. I don't think they've really done that. They just having be just really, like I use the phrase before, like nerdy and whatnot. So but still love the man all the same, right? I'm gonna stop simping over Giles now, right? Right, next we have Angel, right? Angel, Now I actually like the guy with his soul. I actually have no real quarrel beef. If I was Xander, I can understand the whole jealousy and whatnot with Xander and that regarding, the whole, because he's a vampire, can you really trust him? And at the end of the day, I think you can. So as long as he has his soul, he's fine. He can just come across as a bit shady, but he's not really that shady. Like, I think he's actually a swell guy. I mean, it's more so later on, which he gets his soul back after, Buffy and him do the okey pokey and turn around, and for a bit he's Angelus back, like the most evil vampire in the world. He's done all these dastardly things, and then obviously Buffy's really emotional because she's lost her boyfriend and whatnot. And this was the bit which I was actually on Xander's side on this one. Because the thing is, right, regardless of whether he's good with his soul or not, it doesn't change the fact that he's committed all these horrendous crimes as Angelus. So it's almost like, I don't know, as Angelus, he kills, I don't know, launches an attack on a school or something and kills everyone in it. And then Buffy just does some magic and, he's back to normal again. He's like, Buffy, I don't remember anything. What did I do? And that's and then it's like, oh, don't worry, Angel, you're fine now. Let's go back to your flat or wherever you are, and let's do some more, I don't know. Right? So it's almost like, I mean, even though like Xander was almost like really jealous and it's almost like, it seems to me that you just want your boyfriend back. Because it's so true, like, it's so true. Part of me, it's selfish. Buffy can be selfish. Like, this is one of the most things that actually really annoyed me. It's almost like the way Buffy and Willow look at him in the library when obviously Angel's back and she's... And I think they're orchestrating a second plan to see if they can get his soul back, and it's almost like questioning whether it'll actually work or not. And Xander's like, this is a stupid idea, you might as well just finish the job. And then it's almost like, because he's in a relationship with somebody, don't want to spoil it, but I've already spoiled too much, you know what? Sorry if you don't like spoilers, because there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this, because, I've already probably said too much, right, already. So he starts going out with Cordelia. Right, and so it's almost like, because I think deep down, Xander still fancies Buffy and really wants to be with Buffy, so maybe almost Cordelia just fills the gap for him, I suppose. But I do think they do have a somewhat of a connection, I suppose, Xander and Cordelia. But anyway, the point of the matter is, it's almost like, you could argue that Xander is almost just, he just wants Angel out the picture so he can have Buffy for himself, if the time's ever right. But, but either way, I mean, the thing is, I would actually want Angel back, like the good Angel back. But I mean, if all it takes for the two of them to, have some fun, and he loses his soul again, then, is it really worth the risk? I mean, Buffy obviously makes that sacrifice even after he gets his soul back and obviously finishes the job. I don't know if she really knows that he's got his soul back, but anyway, he comes back. Just look at the DVD covers, and he's got his own spin-off show. So, so you obviously know. Anyway, I just clicked onto the next slide. All right, let's talk about Cordelia now. Right, so, I'm going to try to speed this up a bit, because I don't want to go on too long about it, because I've probably said too much in the, when I was talking about all the characters in the big, massive lineup. But, I think one point I wanted to make, it's almost like near the end, she actually basically just admitted how she failed. I think this was in season 1, like the finale. She was basically saying that it's almost, I think she's all about maintaining that social status, right? Like being popular and like whatnot. And, but obviously she knows that the people around her are just like yes people and just will do anything she says just to stay within that circle. So, I guess, but, she, like I've said today, she's not too bad. I mean, obviously I'm biased, for numerous reasons. Anyway, let's... I think I've said enough about her for now. Right. Okay. Yes. Totally forgot about them. Right. We're introduced to more vampire characters, and some of the most prominent in season 2 are Spike and Drew, or drewcilla. I've ended up calling her Drew, because that's what they always call her, right? And they're both British vampires. And what amazes me about these two characters, right, is that they're not actually, British, like, actors. They're actually American actors. But they're so convincing. They do brilliant British accents. Right, so if I'm going to describe them, Spike is almost like the funny one. He starts off kind of dark and evil. And then he's not too bad. And in the end, he almost teams up with Buffy to take down Angelus or whatever. And drewcilla, she's essentially a psychopath. She comes across as sweet and innocent, but she'd kill you. So don't fall for that one. And for Doctor Who fans, you may be watching, the actress who plays her, is it Juliet Land? Sorry, I know her name is Juliet. She plays Romana Free in the Doctor Who audiobooks. So there you go. Right, and last but not least, we have Oz. A ginger with a soul. So he's like a musician who can, he can turn into a vampire. Sorry, a werewolf. But he's not too bad. Is there anything I can really say about Oz? He kind of just comes and goes. He's a loving boyfriend. Oh, I can't go back. So I was about to go back then, but I can't. Right. He's a loving boyfriend to Willow, and always, definitely in comparison to Xander, I think he's definitely more committed. Not to eating her. He obviously doesn't have he doesn't want to eat Willow as a werewolf or anything like that. Yeah, let's just leave it there, right? Right, I should have worded that better. Right, next we have, the relationship between Buffy and her mum, who at the very beginning doesn't know that she's the Slayer or anything like that, so obviously she's almost like brushed aside most of the time. What the most important things is about the dynamic between the two of them is that obviously Buffy's parents are divorced, so it's almost, I suppose, having to deal with the family life and obviously the relationships. I don't think she really sees dad. I remember there's an episode which her dad comes to visit her or whatnot, and you can tell there's no real connections. I suppose it's all about, But anyway, Joyce is a good mum. Bit clueless, but that's not her fault. It's more Buffy's fault. And one of my favourite episodes is the one Ted, which the new boyfriend of Joyce, Buffy's mum, is actually an android. And what I like about Buffy is sometimes they approach certain topics and whatnot, and they like I suppose like drug abuse and obviously and Ted was all about the idea of attitudes to step parents or whatnot, and it's almost almost like the message is almost like if your stepdad turns out to be an android, it's actually all right for you to push him down the stairs and break his neck. Right. Yeah, that was actually a funny episode. And the main villain of Series 1 was Lord Voldemort. I'm sorry, the Master, not played by John Sim. I'm not sure who the actor is. He is so he's the main villain in season 1, and basically he wants to, I suppose, what was it? I think he wants to greatly open. I can't remember now. I'm guessing it was to take over Sunnydale or something to do with the Hellmouth. I don't know, but he became a bit of a meme to me sometimes. And there was this whole anointed one storyline, but that got brushed over pretty quickly, right? And after that, with the season 1 finale, right, where some stuff happens, and basically introduces the concept of more Slayers, which we have Kendra here, which, talking about stereotypes, apparently she actually got an actual like lessons to actually do this accent, but in the end it sounded like this really bad, stereotypical, like awful Jamaican accent. Which I guess the idea they had, apparently it was a last minute decision, right? I guess in the idea they wanted to be crazy diverse in that almost that the Slayers can be located in different regions of the world. At this point, you could have just let her keep her American accent. It would have done her character a lot more justice. But obviously, it was they even ended up almost taking the mick out of it by having Buffy sometimes imitate her and whatnot. Because it's almost like I found this Slayer to actually be quite good. It's a shame that she didn't get to be in it longer. But anyway, and other than like vampires, there are other people she has to deal with, like Principal Schneider, and they introduced the concept of obviously people in Sunnydale, or select individuals, people in power, actually know about these strange events and almost pretend that everything is normal. And Principal Schneider here is one of them. He's the new headmaster, principal, whatever you're from. After the first one gets eaten by other students possessed by hyenas. That might be a lot of information to take in, right? So yeah, he's actually you might recognise the actor. He's in Star Trek. The next generation, I think. I think he's in like some of the later ones. He plays a Ferengi character. If you're a Star Trek fan, you'll know who he is, right? And to close it off in terms of villains, like one of the things I want to comment on is the most stupidest villain, right? So this is the Judge, right? And played by the guy that played the first main male vampire villain in Buffy. Basically, he's like the Judge. It took a whole army to bring him down, and then it's almost like, I'm going to blow you up with a bazooka. Boom, and that's the end of that, because they wanted to focus on the that's Buffy using a bazooka on him. All it took is a bazooka or a rocket launcher. Because it was funny, but it was almost a bit anticlimactic, and it was making me think, they just wanted to focus on Buffy fighting with Angel at the end of the episode. Right, thanks for watching this video. I really apologise if I've been vulgar in some areas, and but I think I just wanted to correct the statement about if I said something wrong about Oz. Right, he obviously he would not be interested in devouring Willow as a human. I mean, as in he'd be more interested in devouring her as a werewolf. Unless I've said the wrong thing again, then just ignore me here. Anyway, here's a meme that will obviously make some of you cringe. I included this to be ironic. So yeah, that's many things. Like, let's see if you can comment on the themes, to earn an extra essay point before I close this video off. Overall, I guess the themes are almost about family and responsibility, I guess, and it can be really clever. I can understand why this show is definitely popular, and at the end of the day, sometimes it's not necessarily about the acting or what about these characters say. It's and sometimes maybe there isn't a lot of substance, and sometimes it's just almost a bit tacky. But at the end of the day, it's about the message that the show is trying to convey. So, and that's why I like it so much, and it's a great distraction. So anyway, I guess that's it. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe or like, whatever. I appreciate anyone that actually watches my videos, even though I know I'm not very active on it. So, so I don't expect too much from you people or viewers. So yeah, I've enjoyed this, and again, maybe you've enjoyed this as well. And I will end this video now, because I'm off to fulfill my Slayer duties, because I think Count Dracula is behind me, so yeah. I am the Slayer. No, I am the Figure-Boi.